And good morning, good afternoon. This is the ninth lesson of philosophy of policy and of foreign affairs and international. Leonardo Dini, philosopher and politician, Italian politician. The main issue of this lesson is, as in the first lesson of this series, the question and issue of economy and finance. In the actual international relation and foreign affairs standing, the economy is the economy and the finance is a very important, have a very important role and a central role. And in the next century and in the next years, for many years, economy and finance have so and so more and more most important role. Then in a global vision of the world, like in a local vision of the world. My colleague Giacomo Maranao and Bolaffi in the global and the global theory as philosophers of policy have a good idea about the dialogue between the local role, the local situation, and the global role and situation. And in a world as acivitas in Roman world, and in the Roman history, in the ancient Roman history. In my opinion, is polis more than civitas. A polis with an agora, the actual situation of international relation and the global world, like in European Union at the continental level, like in the world and the global level at the United Nations level. Actual international relations are more global, international, and universal dialogue between civilization than more than between nation or local situation. This dialogue of civilization started from a different kind of civilization, not more a civilization based on religion or political ideas or an ideology, but in a local and global situation, a situation of um, a kind of civilization like in ideas of Zygmunt Bauman. So strictly more free society and more and fast free society around the world, but at the same time also with danger, with many dangers, as wars, as local wars, as wars, and again ecological wars and questions, and economical and finance wars. So it's not a simple situation, not in the local dimension, not in the continental, and in the world dimension. It's not a simple situation, and the new dimension of international relations and foreign policy, foreign affairs, is the dimension of the global policy. The global policy is a global policy in a new world. So all the world is not only a global village, but also in a politician and the political wars, in political wars, a global policy with an two kinds of agora. A virtual agora, like in the internet um, social dialogue. And a real agora, like in ancient Greek um, words, in the United Nations agora and the United Nations Council. At the same time, as in the past transmission, um, we have a historical time with a way of power for the new emerging nation, from the new nations as Brazil, Turkey, with also and more best important, very important for their future, the role a most important role of their foreign policy. Turkey, in actual world situation, is one of the most important stakeholders in foreign policy, and this is totally unbelievable. And in the last century, in or in the past centuries, Brazil is one important stakeholder in the actual foreign policy, and is also is unbelievable in the past century. Korea have a great role in the ASEAN and the East ASEAN dialogue, but a great role around the world, like the Germany in the past century at the time of this of the unification. So the unification of two Koreas in this century have the main role in the foreign policy of not only of the Asia but the foreign policy of all the world, in of the international relation of the world. For born at a new market, a new important economical market, great and direct competitor, direct in competition with China, with Japan, with India, and the four of the fourth of the four giants of the Asia: Japan, India, China, and I want the Russia yourself. The Russia for their role in the Asia and not only in the Europe. Russia is totally in a future building with Asia, like in the Vladivostok Treaty and the Vladivostok dialogue with China. And the future of the Russia is toward the Asia, toward the China, toward the Korea, Japan, and India, and in cooperation with that nations. In my opinion, a possible future Council of Security of the World is possible, is um, important difference. This uh, is a possible council with only Asian countries, like now is a council with more and more in the exclusively countries from an occidental and European origin. Is it possible an imagination of and imagine of a future Security Council of United Nations with only Asian countries? So China, Russia, India, Korea, and Japan, maybe. It's a totally a different world, a kind of Security Council with this nation. Another hypothesis and ideas from another analysis is a Security Council of the United Nations with one ambassador for one continent: Asia, Oceania, Africa, Europe, Northern, Central, and Southern America. A world totally different, a world which the common starting, the common born the origin, started now, started in these years and in the next years as a common powership of Asia, or a common powership of a new alliance between Europe and the USA and America, or a common different alliance between Europe and Russia. So is that possibility of new alliance born and make the origin of three kinds of wars. Wars with a powership, an Asiatic powership with India, Korea, and China, like the main stakeholder in all the world, a world with a new Occidental stakeholders union with Russia, America, and Europe, or a world with multilateral powership independent union, like with a Security Council with continental deputation and without a main nation as only stakeholder of the world. This is, in my opinion, the future of actual world and the future of international relations and the foreign affairs coming from this actual world.